Update 2. Wife has been using annual girls' trip as an annual hall pass. Well, she left this morning for her girls' trip. I spent the morning taking care of the twins. We did Play-Doh for a couple hours. It's amazing how intent their little distractible brains get when you bust out new tubes and a couple of big play sets. Anyway, it was welcome distraction from the turmoil of the past few weeks, which only got worse the last few days. I still can't believe she went. It is amazing how crazy her ability to compartmentalize is. I mean, every day she is just the best mom. She also has been trying so hard to make me happy. Even when I'm a dick to her, she just says, "I know that's the anger talking, it's valid, but I won't take it. I'm going to give you time to cool off." Like WTF. She has come on to me every day since D-Day, and I'm disgusted with myself because I've given in twice. Each time I feel literally sick. Meanwhile, she acts like it was the best time ever. I am embarrassed to report I have been doing the picking me dance, trying to get her to not go. In the end, it didn't matter. She still went. To Hannibal fucking Missouri of all places, for a goddamn craft fair and to get railed by her 2 ex-boyfriends. Surprisingly, I have felt pretty numb today. Like I'm finally ready to accept this is who she is. I should have accepted it last week when I finally got the details out of her about the years of girls' trips that came before. That was painstaking to do in its own right. Not because I had to drag the info out of her, no. She seemed excited to share her exploits, but because she was so determined to not give me the opportunity to have hard evidence. This woman had me put my phone in the car, then have this conversation in the shower. Like, who even thinks of that? She started off by asking if I remember when her and Scarlett went to Santa Claus Inn. I said, yeah, we had only been dating like 2 months. She said, right, nothing happened that time or 5 years ago when I was 6 months pregnant with the twins. But every other time I have been with at least one other guy. At least? I inquired. She said, yes, at least the first few years I didn't have a plan other than picking up a guy and bringing him back to the hotel. If he was a lame duck, I'd pick up someone else the next day. If he was good, I would keep him for the weekend. For some reason, this was actually worse than it being a full-blown affair. The idea that she was just picking up random dudes made my skin crawl. When I asked if she used protection, she said, sometimes. While disgusted, I pressed on and asked why she started cheating in the first place. She said, you remember we were having some serious issues just after our first year together. I had the trip coming up and was venting to Scarlett about it. She was having some problems with Sam, her then BF, now husband, and said we should cheat on you guys. At first I was appalled, but then she told me about how her mom has cheated on her dad forever. He just takes it, turns a blind eye. She used to get so mad at her mom, but told me one day something happened. When she was 16, Scarlett got sick at school and was sent home. She drove herself home and quietly came inside, only to catch her mom in the act. Upset and crying, she asked her mom why. Her mom told her because it makes her better. Having this over her dad lets her handle all the things that she doesn't like in her life, makes her a better mom and wife, and makes her feel alive. At first, Gwen was skeptical of this whole thing and told her she didn't promise she would do it. Gwen did admit, though, the idea excited her. It wasn't until the first night that she realized Scarlett had invited a classmate to meet her at the hotel. She was going to be joining him in his room. At that point, Gwen said she had some serious FOMO, and while they were out at a local college bar, she picked up a guy. Apparently, she picked right and kept him on retainer for the rest of the weekend. This is when Gwen went into a whole monologue reminding me about how she is all year long, but especially after she returns from the girls' trip. It's not untrue. She has always been super attentive and sexual for weeks after. That starts the second she gets back each year. It's crazy to think how much I used to look forward to her going, knowing that she always came back with her battery charged. Now knowing how she's charging it has me absolutely disgusted. I asked, so how did we get to you having an affair with your HS boyfriend? She said, it's not an affair, we fuck one weekend a year and message a little bit leading up. That doesn't make it an affair. But to answer your question, after the first couple years of random guys worked out, the next 2 years didn't, so I decided to do what Scarlett does and invite someone. The first time was a client and it went great. The next year, we had just gotten a hot intern at work and he was always flirty, so I invited him. The weekend was amazing, but when we got back, he was clingy. I ended up having to threaten him, and I learned coworkers don't make good choices. I ended up reconnecting with Donald at our HS reunion 4 years ago. He's also married, so I knew it was safer than single guys. He had something to lose, too. Don and John are still best friends. John is also married. Being with two at once has been a fantasy for a long time, so I figured why not, and just asked. I should have quit then, but I didn't. I did this pick-me dance for another week. But now she's gone for the weekend. But I'm about to be gone too. I'm not going to live like this. She thinks she has me, but what she didn't anticipate was me going numb. I might not have a plan right now, but I have time, and I will make sure she sees consequences for this. Edit. Getting a few questions on the history between Gwen, Don, and John. Gwen and Don were HS sweethearts and decided to break up amicably right before going to the same college. They kept up a friends with benefits thing for the first semester until Don got GF. John was Don's roommate freshman year and they became best friends, so the three of them and some others hung out a lot. When Don got his GF, John asked if it was cool for him to pursue Gwen, and Don had no qualms with that, and they all kept hanging out until John and Gwen broke up after about a year. Shortly after that, I came into the picture and she lost touch with both of them until the HS reunion.